The member for Etobicoke-Lakeshore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to how we shape our communities and how we work to create better access to affordable housing for Ontarians who need it most, I've always believed in giving municipalities the tools they need to make important decisions at the local level. One of these powerful tools is inclusionary zoning. As members of this House are aware, I've advocated for inclusionary zoning in my own private member's bill. In many communities, increasing house prices and rent costs are making it difficult for people to find housing they can afford. At last week's new long-term affordable housing strategy announcement, our government took action to achieve a fairer society. It was announced that we intend to introduce legislation that would, if passed, make inclusionary zoning a reality in communities across this province. Mr. Speaker, through you, will the Minister tell us about the thinking behind this decision and the next steps ahead?
Thank you, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the member from Etobicoke-Lakeshore, as well as the member from Parkdale High Park, who have been tireless in their efforts to advocate for inclusive zoning. You know, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, we don't have a construction office down at the end of our wing. We're filled with bricklayers and carpenters and electricians and plumbers who wait for a call from Scriber or Peterborough or Hamilton to come and build 8, 18 or 100 units. It doesn't work that way. It works by partnering together with our municipalities and the private sector to try to, and not for profit, to try to encourage, incent, and plan for the provision of social and affordable housing. I've come to believe, thanks to some of the advocacy efforts of other members in the House, that inclusive zoning is a good way to go. We're meeting with our partners. We're going to come up with something very comprehensive, and it's going to work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to congratulate the Minister on his tremendous leadership. And I'm also very proud of the action our government has taken in the long-term affordable housing strategy to make finding a home easier for low and middle-income Ontarians and to empower municipalities to address their communities' needs. Mr. Speaker, some people see inclusionary zoning as a magic wand, thinking it'll be sufficient on its own to solve housing challenges. And I'd like to urge the government to pass existing legislation as urgently as possible. Mr. Speaker, through you, can the Minister explain why simply passing one of the existing private members' bills on inclusionary zoning that are already before the House wouldn't achieve these larger objectives for affordable housing?
Thank you, Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, inclusionary zoning has in some jurisdictions proven to be an effective tool if it's done right. We want to make sure we get it right. And I recognize, our government recognizes that it's now time to take action beyond Section 37, which could have done a lot of this kind of thing if properly applied, but wasn't. That's why we're developing a broader set of legislative changes that will go beyond inclusionary zoning, and that's why we want to talk to our partners, because believe it or not, the development industry and our municipalities and some of my colleagues in this House have got some great ideas that need to be rolled into that legislation. We're going to make sure that happens. We're going to make sure we get it right.